Andy with Just Ask Andy. I'm here today with Danielle. Danielle actually is a personal banker, and so I thought it was a good idea to ask her a couple of questions about personal banking and credit scores and credit accounts and things of that nature. So I'm going to ask her a couple of questions. She's going to answer them for us with her experience and everything else. So I'm going to let her introduce herself at this time.
Hi everyone, I'm Danielle, and as Andy stated, I am a personal banker and I work for one of the largest financial institutions in the country. So I'm happy to be doing the interview. So what we got?
All right. Okay, so we're going to be talking about personal accounts, we're going to be talking about savings accounts, and we're going to also talk about some credit card options you guys may have. So we're going to go right into the questions. My first question for Danielle is, what is the difference between a checking account and a savings account?
Well, the biggest difference between a checking and a savings account would be your checking account is what you would want to use for your everyday transactions. So any bills that you may be paying, any checks that you need to write, when you want to go get your groceries, anything that you're going to be doing on an ongoing basis, that's the account you want to use for that purpose. The savings account is going to be more so for the money that you don't want to use. So that's what you want to keep. So if you want to save for a mortgage, save for a car, have some rainy day funds in case an auto repair may come up, that's where you want to keep those funds separate so you make sure you're not blowing through it.
Right. My next question is, what is needed to open a checking account or a savings account?
Okay, so most banks are going to ask you for 2 forms of identification in order to open the checking or savings account.
Okay.
So there's going to be a primary form of identification, so that can be your driver's license, your state ID, or your passport if you have one.
Okay.
The second form of identification is going to be not as serious, so that can be something like your social security card. If you happen to have a debit or credit card already with a different institution, a bill with your name and address on it that can confirm who you are.
All right, so you mentioned about a social security card. I guess the next question to go along with that is, why is it that banks want your social security number?
Well, your social security number is important when it comes to the banks because they need to use that to determine whether or not you'd be eligible to open an account with them.
Okay.
So what they use that for is they put the number in the system and they run it through what we call check systems and early warning systems to see if there's any type of listing with your name on it or any report with your name on it that shows up. If they find that, usually they will not allow you to open the account.
Okay. So we're going to go into the third question. And the third question is, how does getting a personal bank account help me with my personal credit score?
Well, the answer to that question would be, it actually does not help you with your credit score. So having a personal bank account would be something where you're established so you can run your transactions through, and if you need to prove to someone how you operate as a person, they're keeping track of that. So they're going to give you monthly statements which keep record of everything that you're doing, which is going to show proof. It doesn't give you any credit. However, sometimes a bank may consider you having that personal account with them. If you decide that you want to apply for some credit, they'll take that relationship into consideration.
Okay, so the best practice is basically to keep your checkings or savings account in good status. So when a bank does do a review of your account, then maybe they will consider you to get a credit card or maybe a line of credit for like your mortgage payments and things like that. So that's good to know. If I open an account for my child and continue to get fees, what happened? Will this affect my child's credit score while I'm doing that?
Well, that's a multi-part answer question.
Okay.
So the first part of that will be whether or not the account is closed. Remember, that was one thing we mentioned earlier. So if the bank does not decide to go ahead and close the account, or if they haven't closed the account yet, as long as you're incurring the fees, you still have an opportunity to pay, and that's not being reported on your credit. Neither yours or your child. Now, if the bank decides to go ahead and close the account out, which is usually if it remains with an overdrawn balance for 60 days in a row, they call that a charge-off.
Yes.
And when the account is charged off, they usually give you about 60 days after that to pay that balance back before they report it to a collection agency. So at this point, it's still not reflected on your credit. Once it's reported to a collection agency, though, at that point, the collection agency will then go ahead and list that on your credit as a negative, and it'll have a negative impact on your credit report. And when it comes to your child, that depends on usually the age of your child. So if you have a child usually under 16 to 18, if it's overdrawn, like we say, as long as it's not reported to that collection agency, it's fine and not being reported on the credit. But once it gets to that collection agency, it will be reported on both.
Okay. So just to go a little bit into the collection part again, once the account is past due 120 days, that's basically when it actually goes on a credit report. If a child is under the age of 16, no, it does not report on their child's credit report because they have not created a credit profile at this point. But it will go on a child's credit once they hit 16 and up, and also if they have a credit profile. Also, it will affect of whoever a name is adjoined with that account. So if it's your mom, your dad, your grandma, your aunt, your best friend, both you guys will both of you guys will get that impact. Okay guys, so we have now asked 5 different questions to this personal banker, Miss Danielle. We thank her for doing the interview with us. We have literally went over your checkings account versus your savings account, how to open these accounts, what would actually happen if you basically go into a negative account, whether it's you or your child. We also talked about why the bank actually needs your social security number. So again, thank you Danielle for doing this interview with us with Just Ask Andy. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them below. If you want to, also you can inbox me. If you have personal questions about banking or anything like that, inbox me and I'll get it over to Danielle. This is the conclusion. We thank everyone for watching this video. If it's some good information, please like and share this video. And until then, Danielle, do you have anything you want to add to it?
No, that's it. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, no problem. So that will conclude our video, our interview. So thank you guys for listening. Have a good day.
I should be getting short. I can't get my life together. It's fine. I'm fine. Nurse for calling, right? Oh, yeah.
So 3, 2. Hi guys.
I'm sorry, the singing the 3, 2. Okay.
No, I gotta get comfortable.